My passport in life was not fitting in. It was looking very different from everyone around me, especially if you're creative on some level where there's something different about you. It might be how you look, it might be what you listen to, it might be your sexuality. There might be something uniquely different about you that makes you stand out. And I think a lot of us have experienced this in different ways. And at first, when you're young, you want to fit in, you want to be like everyone else. But because I really couldn't fit in because I just didn't look like anyone, you have that choice to try and really assimilate or just really be an individual. And so that was my first passport in life that allowed me to think that maybe there's a world outside. And, in the late 90s, early 2000s, we're not on Facebook, we're not on Instagram, we don't have smartphones. So seeing and finding options of other places was more of an imaginative exercise versus you Googling something and saying, I want to go there. And so in 1999, I went to art school for the first time. And that's when I met people from all different countries, different cities, different backgrounds, different races. And it taught me this power of being unique and being an individual. And for the first time, that being celebrated versus being looked down upon. And I met some friends or some students that became friends from Japan. And Tokyo seemed like it was on the other side of the planet, because literally it was. And so I set my goals on, okay, I want to go to that place. That place sounds like it's so far away that I can't even imagine what they eat there, what they do there, what it looks like. I have no idea. And that's where I want to go. And so through the whole course of my kind of art school, it was me with the goal of moving to Japan. And in that time, I happened to visit Japan for a vacation for a month. And that changed my life in the sense, because I went to this place where I clearly wasn't Japanese. I was clearly an outsider, but that was okay because I wasn't born there. I didn't grow up there. I wasn't raised there. And so when people asked me, "Doko kara kimashita?" like, where are you from? I would just say London. And they would say, "Oh, okay, that's great." And there was yeah, exactly. That's that. And there was no weird undertone or judgment on your class or your race or your background or the part of the country that you were from, which would happen in England. It was just simply like, oh, that's cool. And what I really liked in Japan, in a way, is that you're Nihonjin or you're Gaijin. You're Japanese or you're a foreigner. That's it. Obviously, there's different nuances to that, but I wasn't trying to be Japanese. I was just trying to be myself. And I also didn't bring any of that baggage from the UK. When you're living in a place that you're growing up, or you're surrounded by family or friends or people that know you, you live up to certain stereotypes or projections that people are projecting onto you of who they think that you are. We all have certain personalities in our friend groups or certain family expectations of who they think we are, and they project them onto us. And when you go to somewhere completely new where you don't understand the food, the language, the transportation, anything like that, it's totally a blank canvas for yourself to figure out who you are as a human. And I'm so grateful that I moved to Japan in a time where we weren't online and where we weren't on Facebook, and where those judgments and stereotypes and projections weren't carried in my iPhone or my phone, across the oceans. It was literally me just showing up, being completely isolated, and then having that blank canvas to try and figure out who I was and who I am.
Experience the world of art, design, and culture through Minded Podcast. Engage with groundbreaking artists, visionary designers, and cultural influencers, and delve into their creative processes. Minded Podcast, powered by the CDA. New episodes every Tuesday.